Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. This is Mr. Shakespeare going with you on the 16th of November. I'm joined as usual by psychic medium and remote viewer, Liz Cross. How are we doing today, Liz?
Oh, great. I've been up since 4. How are you?
Well, I haven't been up since 4, but I did get up early this morning. But obviously I'm 6 hours ahead of you now, so it's like, it's rolling on to lunchtime here almost. Anywho, right, this is part two of uh and there might even be a part three I was thinking earlier, but let's get through part two first. This is MSTY, the Yield Max Exchange Traded Fund, and Master or Mister, which is the MicroStrategy share that it's based on, which trades on the Nasdaq. I want to do a deep dive into both of them, really, Liz. So, um, I'm going to start with MicroStrategy, please.
Okay. Could you do
So,
me a
I
favor and stop that video there? Because
oh yeah, so,
YouTube. Thank you. All right. So we're going to start with MicroStrategy. All right. What would you like to know?
right. Well, I want you to move it out first, please.
How far?
Right. Well, we're going to go to the 30th of March, I think, next year.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Let's go investing.com. March 30th, 2025, 6 p.m. Eastern. Is it daylight time? Eastern daylight time? It is. Yes. What would you like to know?
So currently the price of MSTR is $340. Is it higher or lower than 600?
Is MSTR MicroStrategy stock higher, lower than 600? It's higher.
Higher or lower than 700?
It's lower than 7.
650?
Is it 650? Lower.
Oh, 625?
Higher.
All right, so about 630, 635. That'll do for us.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now come back to the 14th of March,
Okay.
2025. Is the price higher or lower than $600?
STR higher, lower than $600. It feels like it's sitting right at 600.
Okay. Now we'll come back to the 2nd of March.
Okay.
Is the price higher or lower than $500?
Is the price of MSTR per share higher or lower than 500? It's higher than 5, but lower than 6.
So 500 or 600, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We're now going to come back to the 21st of February.
Okay, 21st of February 2025. What's the price of MSTR? It actually feels really high.
Oh, really?
Is it
What,
higher?
higher than 600?
It feels like it could be around high 6, almost 7.
Right. And let's come back to the 7th of February then.
Okay, 7th of February. February 7th, 2025. It's higher than 6.
Just trying to get a feeling of when it goes that high. Right, let's come back now to the 6th of January.
Okay, January 26th, 2025, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay.
Higher or lower than 500?
Higher or lower than 500 for MSTR? Lower.
450?
Higher or lower than 450? Higher.
So 475.
Higher.
So between 475 and 500, yeah? Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right, and then the last one is the 20th of Jan.
Okay.
Higher or lower than 400?
Higher.
450?
Between 4 and 450.
Okay. All right.
So I have to say this before anybody starts clinging on to these numbers. We're looking for a trend. These numbers are not certain. This is quantum probabilities. I think we're looking quite far out into the future. Anything can change, but we're looking for the trend. So please bear that in mind.
Right.
Because people
Um,
will cling on to those numbers for dear life. And I
yeah.
don't, they have to understand the trend is more important than the numbers.
Yeah. So can we grab GAN for this next question, please?
Okay.
Can we ask GAN which week had the highest price for Mr. MSTR between the 16th of November 2024 and the 30th of March 2025?
Mr. Is it November 2024? No. December 2024? No. January 2025? It's February. At the
Okay.
beginning of February? No. Sort of mid to late February.
Okay. Now, the opposite question, which week in the month had the lowest price from the 16th of November 2024 to the 30th of March 2025?
Which had the lowest price? Is it the 16th of November? No. Is it November? Yes. So November had the lowest price between now and March the 30th, 2025. Is it November? I feel like it's this month.
Okay, so we've only got another 14 days or so. Is it this week coming up or the following week?
Is it this week coming up? No, the following week, towards the tail end.
Right. Does it get down to below 300?
Does it get down to below 300? No,
320?
maybe around 320.
So it doesn't really drop much.
Mm-mm.
Okay, right. Let's hold that one there a minute and then we are going to. What are
All
we?
right.
Oh, what happened there?
Now, can people outside of the USA buy MicroStrategy?
Yes, yes. Because it's
No,
a
they
trade.
can't.
Yeah, oh, it's no problem. It's traded on NASDAQ. Yeah, easy.
Excuse me. Bless me.
Well, now, I also want to just get a little bit of help with this one. So I am going to be talking to right. You're going to need this guy's help on this one. Okay, right. If we keep with investing.com, please. I now want you to move back out to the 30th of March, 2025.
Okay, so all right. So March 30th, 2025, 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time.
Yeah. So currently the net asset, the NAV value, the share price value is $35.31, $35.31. Is it higher or lower than 50?
For Misty, MSTY, is it higher or lower than 50? Where am I looking? March 30th?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it higher or lower than 50 US dollars? It's higher.
Higher or lower than 60?
Higher, lower than 16. I don't feel it's 60. Can you stop that video for us, please? Sorry. Okay.
So, okay, 55. All
Is it higher or lower than 55 for Misty? It may be around that price.
right. Let's come back to the 14th of March, 2025.
Okay.
Same question. Is it higher or lower than $50 US?
14th of March, 2025. Is it higher or lower than 50 US dollars? It's higher.
Higher than 55?
Higher than 55 US dollars. No, it's around 53-ish.
Yeah. Okay. Let's come back to the 2nd of March then, please.
March 2nd, 2025. Okay.
Higher or lower than 45?
Higher, lower than 45 for Misty. Higher.
50? Higher or lower?
Higher.
55?
55 higher. Possibly higher than 55, but lower than 60.
Okay. Come back to the 21st of Feb now, please.
21st of February. Okay.
Higher or lower than 50?
Higher, lower than 50. Higher.
55? Higher or lower?
Higher, lower than 55. It's around 55.
Okay. Come back to the 7th of Feb, please.
Okay.
Higher or lower than 50?
Higher, lower than $50 for Misty. Higher, lower than $50 for Misty, MSTY. I think it's right there.
Well, on 50, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Come back to the 26th of January, please. Higher or
Uh,
lower than 45?
26th of January. 2025. Is it higher, lower than 45? It's higher.
48?
Lower than 48. Higher.
52?
No, it's around 50 again.
Okay, the last one on these, 20th of January, please. Go to the 20th of January.
January 20th, January 20th. Okay, January 20th, higher, lower than $50 for Misty, higher, lower than $60 for Misty. It could even be high 50s on January 20th.
Right. Okay, same two questions again. Let's ask Gan. In which week did the Yield Max Misty have the highest price between the 16th of November 2024 and the 30th of March 2025?
16th of November 2024 and 30th of March 2025. Which week had the highest price? The
Yeah.
highest for Misty. Is it November 2024? No. December? No. January. I feel well around the sort of end of January is high. Is that the highest? No, but that's pretty high. February. I feel like February is really a high time for Misty.
Right. Okay. Now the opposite question. Which week, month had the lowest price between the 16th of November 2024 and the 30th of March 2025?
Which week had the lowest price from the 16th and I'm getting November. I'm getting November again. Is it December? No, going back into November.
So is it the
I'm
next week is it this week in this week coming up in November, or is it the following week?
No, I think it's the following week.
So the last week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Right. Can you now, let's talk about dividends. Let's ask our friend Retire on dividends. Can you get a connection with him, please?
I can, Rod. Yes, I'm gonna
Well,
mind
Rod,
prove him.
you have.
Mm-hmm. He's a nice guy. Good
Okay.
energy.
All right. Let's put him out to let's put him out till the end of March, please. 30th of March.
30th of March. So March 30th, 2025, 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Are you still making videos? Oh yeah, he's cranking out the content.
Good. What was the dividend in dollar amount for Misty MSTY for March, for the end of March?
Was the dividend in dollar amount for MSTY at the end of March? Was it higher or lower than $3? Was it higher or lower than three? It's about $3.
Okay. Let's bring him back to is it over $3 or is it when you say about, is it over?
Is it over $3? I feel like Misty has a bit of a rough month in Mar Is it because they have a rough month in March? I do. I feel like there's a bit of a rough month there. What's the highest dividend payout
Hang on.
overall? Hmm.
Well, hang on. I was going to ask that
Oh,
later.
sorry.
Let's get them all shielded out first. All right. So, sorry, you didn't answer the question. Was it high? Was it actually over $3 or was it under $3?
Was it higher or lower than $3 for Misty dividend yield for
March.
March 2025? Oh no, it's higher. Okay. Is it higher or lower than $5 for the dividend yield for Misty March 2025? It could be sitting between 4 and 5.
Okay, because you did just say around three.
You know what? I didn't ask the question properly.
Right. Okay, let's ask the question again then for the end of February. Put him back to the 28th of February.
Okay.
So what was the dividend paid out on for February for Misty? Was it higher or lower than $4?
The dividend payout from Misty for February, is it higher or lower than $4 for the month of February? Oh, it's higher.
Is it higher or lower than $5?
Higher.
$6.
Higher.
Wow. $7?
It's between 6 and 7,
Wow.
which is
Okay.
fantastic.
It is, yeah. Okay, let's come back to the 28th of January. No, well, I'm not sure when it pays out. So let's go 30th to cover ourselves. 30th of January.
Okay. Is the
So what
dividend
was the dividend payout for? Let's ask him what the dividend payout for January for Misty was. Higher or lower than $4?
higher?
Higher or lower than $5?
Higher.
Higher or lower than $6?
Higher.
Higher or lower than $7?
So higher.
Higher or lower than $8?
I don't feel it's above 8.
So 750?
Lower.
Between 7 and 750 then.
And again, these are just trends. Don't hold on to the numbers. I have to keep reminding people of that because
Oh yeah.
they cling on to the numbers
Yeah.
like gold. Don't do that. Numbers are very
Yeah, look
difficult
at
to
the trend
get.
and look at the differences in what Liz predicts between month to month. And the gaps are more important than the numbers because that gives you the trend. You're correct. Right. 30th of December 2024, please. Let's ask retire on dividends guy. Was the share, sorry, was the dividend payout on Misty higher or lower than $4?
Dividend payout on Misty higher, lower than $4. Higher,
Was it higher or lower than $5?
lower.
So 450-ish?
Is it higher, lower than 450? Could be around 450.
Okay. And the last question from him. Let's bring him back now till the 30th of November, 2024. So just in 2 weeks'
Mhm.
time.
Oh, so next week.
Well,
Um,
2 weeks actually.
well, Misty pays out Friday.
Yeah, I know, but I'm asking
I
afterwards.
know.
Yeah,
Okay.
but
The dividend yield for Misty per
for
share
November.
November, is it higher, lower than 4? It's higher. Is it higher, lower than 5? It's between 4 and 5.
Right.
That's what I
Okay.
love
Let's.
about these funds,
Yeah.
right? If you have 1,000 shares and just say, minimum payout $4 a month per share, that's income. That's $4,000 a month right there every month. Now you can drip it back in and buy more shares. Obviously, over time, that's the most beneficial thing to do. Some people take the dividend yield and they buy Bitcoin or they buy other things. Or maybe you want to sit and wait until there's a bit of a dip in the market and then you buy in. But look at that. I mean, 1,000 shares will yield you $4,000 to $5,000 a month. That's good. That's good money. That's more than what a lot of jobs pay.
Right. But of course, you got to have the capital to buy it in the first place, because 1,000 shares at the moment will cost you about 35 grand.
It will. It will. But you know what? Surprisingly, if you just buy little bits and bobs here and there and you're getting the yield, putting the yield money back in, that money, you'll accumulate very quickly, right?
Mm.
But
Right.
who could turn down an income of 4 to 5 grand a month? I mean, it's a nice perk.
Mm. Okay, right. Let's keep retire on dividends chaps out to the end of March, please. Next year,
Okay.
30th of March.
Okay.
And total amount of dividends paid over the previous, let's see, November, December, January, February, March. So the last 5 months of dividends, which of the yield max ETFs produced the highest dollar amount of yield? So we've got 5 months of yields being paid out. Which yield max fund paid the highest? Which was second? Which was third?
Which month paid
No,
out the highest dividend for Misty dividend yield from now until March the 30th,
hang on.
February.
Okay, but
Is it February? Is it February that paid out the highest dividend yield for Misty? Or is it March? What are you saying to me? February? No, he's looking like the tail end of January.
right, yeah, okay. But just going back to the question, which yield max over the 5 months paid the highest dollar amount of dividend cumulative? Was it Tesla? Was it Apple? Was it Amazon, Goofy, Netflix? Which one of these was the highest?
The highest dividend yield.
Total cumulative. So we're looking at November, December, January, February, and March, 5 months. Which one produced the highest yield dollar amount?
Hmm.
I know, tough question.
Which month produced the
Oh
highest,
no,
or
not which
which,
month.
sorry,
No,
which stock, which
which?
ETF produced
Yeah,
the highest dividend yield cumulatively? Is it Nvidia? No. Is it Coney? No. Is it Misty? Misty's up there. Um, is it PLTY. Excuse me. Is it PLTY? No, I feel like it's Misty.
Right. Okay. Which was the second highest?
Who was the second highest? He's trying to tell me. Hold on. What was the first letter? M.
M. Well, Misty is the MSFO,
Is it Microsoft? No. What
MRNY.
is it? MRN? I feel like that is paying out. I don't even know what that one is.
Nor do I. But that one came second, did it?
Did that one come second? MRNY? Did that one come second? No, I don't like what he said. It's hard to get. It's better to do by process of elimination. That it doesn't look like this MRNY one is any good.
Oh, okay. All right.
I mean, I know some of you have bought Ulti and some of you bought other things. Liz never said that. I always basically, and you can do what you want to do. Obviously, you have to do your own research, but I've always stuck with the top ones. Tesla, Coney, Nvidia, Misty. You can buy some YMAX and YMAG if you want to. Those play weekly, but the I don't mess around with the other ones. I mean, as more come on board, it's up to you what you want to do, but no.
All right, we'll put these in. Let him put these in order of total dividend yield for the last 5 months if he's out at the end of March. So Tesla, Coney, Nvidia, Misty. Which one was top? Which is second? Which is third? Out of those four.
It should have paid the highest dividend yield out of those four. Misty
Cumulative for the whole of the 4 or 5 months. Cumulative.
for the whole 4 to 5 months. Which one paid the highest yield? Is it Misty? Yeah, by far Misty. And what paid the second? Tesla seems to be up there. Tesla seems to be recovering. Tesla seems to be up there.
And the third one?
Coney or Nvidia. Coney. And
Right.
then Nvidia. And then Nvidia.
Interesting.
So it looks like Tesla and Tesla are gaining ground.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's fine. Yeah. Well, obviously, maybe because Trump's now would be in the government then, wouldn't he? So you'd have an official government position. So interesting. Okay. Um, I want to probe. Well, I know what I want to do, but oh dear. Is GAN good with ETFs? Is he good with these? I don't know. I don't know if you guys have used GAN for these or.
He's okay.
Hmm? Well, let's go. Let's go 10 years out and 5 years out. Which one's the best?
10
Tesla.
years out.
Yeah.
Which one is the best going out? Is it Misty? Is it Nvidia? Which one is best going out? Misty or Nvidia? Why are you saying Nvidia? Why do you like Nvidia? You know, he may have a preference.
Right.
Why do you say Nvidia over Misty? I mean, Misty pays more,
Right. Okay.
but why are you saying Misty over Nvidia? I mean, Nvidia over Misty. It feels like Nvidia's more stable.
Okay.
He likes that Nvidia doesn't really fluctuate too much. He
Right.
doesn't like Tesla.
He doesn't like Tesla.
Mm-mm.
Does he like Coney?
What about Coney? Coney, the yield is disappointing. Um,
Right.
Obviously, if you're looking for income, you're looking for yield, it's going to be Misty. If you're looking for stability, it's going to be Nvidia.
But which has the highest NAV price compared to today then after 10 years?
After 10
Tesla,
years.
Coney, Nvidia, Misty. Whatever the NAV prices are today, in 10 years' time, which one's gone up the most?
Which one has gone up the most out of the four? Is it out of the four? Tesla, Nvidia, Misty, and Coney. Misty,
Oh, right. Second?
the second one. What is the second one? Is it Tesla? Is Tesla gone up in price over 10 years? Not really. What about Nvidia?
Okay. So it's all tech stuff, really, isn't it? Yeah. Okay.
Mm.
All right. Well, I mean, that gets us out 5 months. We can correlate that with the first one, and well, I will. And then we'll see if we need to do one more. But on the first looks, it seems consistent to me. So that's good.
Okay, brilliant. Well, we keep getting the Bitcoin weathers financial storms,
Of
right?
course. Yeah.
And that's going to be due to, limited supply, all sorts of factors. And don't forget, YieldMax are coming out with new products all the time. Now, what they are finding is that the new stuff that they're coming out, they're starting out at a higher NAV price. So when you're looking at the dividend yield, you're like, oh my God, this is paying $5 or $6 a share, but the NAV price is 50 to $60, right? So they're starting out at 50 roughly.
Yeah.
Don't let those numbers fool you, because if you're looking at the yield that happened last month, if you're looking at the yield price for Misty and the yield price for and I can't remember what the other one was, supercomputer or something. Supercomputer, if you're just looking at the numbers, wow, this is great, but it costs more money to buy supercomputer, whatever that was, than it did to buy
Yeah.
Misty's. You actually got more shares buying Misty because it was a lower NAV price.
Yeah.
So don't just see gold and see dollar signs just with the yield amounts coming out. Do your calculations, because I had a couple of people message me like, "Oh my God, that's so much." And I'm like, well, actually, no. Misty was the better payout because the NAV price was high for the other one.
Right.
Um, but this is great. I mean, Bitcoin seems to do well. MicroStrategy, is it just going to keep doing well? I mean, it is. Is it going to have any problem? I don't think so. I'm not getting that it's going to have any problems.
Mm. Okay.
All
All
right. Well, thank
right.
you, Mr. Shakespeare. We appreciate that.